The Stardom faction draft was a bit of a surprise to me as I didn't know why this needed to happen. In this video I'll be talking about a number of things, my opinion and thoughts on the draft, what happened during the draft, and how it's changed things, and whether it was for the best or not. When I first heard that Stardom was having a faction draft, I was confused. I didn't like the idea for many reasons. It seemed like the worst thing they could do, and here's why. When factions develop, they're usually for a reason, right? Usually like-minded people join together to either get ahead or take on a common enemy. A tag team or stable always feels like people who want to be together, and not because some company decided that these people should be on a team. At the time, there were only two main factions and a jumbled mess. Odo Tai and Queen's Quest felt like perfect teams, one filled with heels that are either too scared to fight fairly or just enjoy cheating so much that they still do it even if they are talented. Kagetsu and Hana fit that part of Odo Tai. They're both great wrestlers, but just can't help cheating, which brought some people like Sumire, who is a coward, to join them. Queen's Quest had either the best, Io Shirai, or the best up-and-comers, Hazuki, Momo Watanabe, and Izumi. Both teams were perfect, they felt organic and didn't seem like a corporation put them together. Then there was Stardom's army, now known as Stars. Stars was, without a doubt, the most sloppily put together team I have ever seen. The first introduction to the team was Mayu trying to recruit Tam, to a team that already existed, I guess? Now, I don't follow the English Twitter account because they post spoilers to matches way before they're even uploaded to the website. So my only source of info on the stories going on in Stardom are from what they show us through their videos on Stardom World. The first mention of Mayu's faction came out of nowhere and was presented in a way that insinuated that we should have already known about it. Stars never felt like an actual group. From the fact that they had no direction, the members list was very unclear, and Mayu, as much as I love her, is probably the worst leader in history. They have been getting more solid lately and started feeling like a legit team, but at the time of the draft, they felt like nothing. Now, the reason I had a problem with this draft at first, it felt so inorganic. Like the company itself was just mixing up teams for the sake of it. The news left me salty, because apparently the reason they were doing it was to fill up Odo Tai because they lost so many members lately. I felt that if they wanted more members in Odo Tai, they should do it through a story by letting them recruit people like they did with Tam. I didn't like the whole idea of it, and the rules weren't very clear. Did it mean that everyone was now in a faction and that there were going to be no more lone wolves? I didn't like the idea of that at all. I decided I would wait to pass judgment until after the event happened, thinking maybe things will be fine, hoping that Queen's Quest would come out unscathed and maybe get a new member. On April 15th, 2018, Stardom held their faction draft. The three teams would be on the chopping block. Earlier in the show, the three leaders, Kagetsu, Mayu, and Io, battled to determine order of choice. I figured Kagetsu would get first pick because of her cheating ways and opportunistic nature, that she would get the better of the two in a three-way battle. Then Io got second choice, with Mayu being last. Odo Tai had two members she would pick for sure, Hana and Sumire, to get back on her team. So that meant that it wouldn't be until round 3 where things would get shaken up. There were a lot of surprises and some things that I predicted. Round 1 was pretty obvious and really surprising to me. Kagetsu chose the obvious, Hana Kimura, to go to Odo Tai again, keeping her main ally and the tag belts where they were before. Next up, Io Shirai shocks us a lot by choosing Izumi first. I did not see that coming at all. I thought for sure she was going to pick Hazuki. Mayu then chose Starlight Kid as her first pick. At the time, I didn't really care as much about Stars, so I never really bothered to try to predict who they would pick. It makes sense picking Starlight Kid though, as she is going to be running Stardom in a few years, and currently holds the future belt. Natsu Sumire goes to Odo Tai, making sure Odo Tai is coming out of this without any heartaches. Io Shirai goes on to pick Momo Watanabe, which kinda surprised me a bit. I thought for sure she was going to pick Hazuki before Momo. Then Mayu takes Saki Kashima, but what about Tam? Up till this point, I thought Mayu and Tam were close. But this spreads some doubts on that. Round 3 is where it starts getting messed up. Kagetsu gets the first pick, and she has free reign on anybody. She chooses Hazuki, and whether this was because she saw her talent, or that Kagetsu wanted to get back at Queen's Quest for causing Tam to leave, the reason is unknown. I always thought Hazuki would be better off as a heel. She was the only one who could actually pull off the heel nature when Queen's Quest started. So while I hated that this happened, it wasn't the worst thing ever. Io goes on to pick B.A. Priestley, and Mayu chooses Shiki Shibusawa, another surprise. Seriously, does Mayu not care about Tam at all? Kagetsu grabs Nao Yamaguchi for their rookie. At the time, Nao was pretty cutesy / sexy babyface, so the contrast of her being with Odo Tai was pretty hilarious to me. Now, while I never predicted Nao would go to Odo Tai, I did think Shiki might be going to there for the same reasons. Io Shirai then picks another foreigner in Chardonnay. While Chardonnay is a good wrestler, it seems odd to me that Io was picking foreigners over local talent. Io was portrayed as kind of dumb in this. Yes, they're good wrestlers, but once their tour in Japan is over, they're gone. Mayu then finishes up the round choosing Natsumi. Seriously, Mayu, what the hell? Kagetsu seems to have gotten everything she wanted, but Odo Tai would not be Odo Tai without some foreigners. So Kagetsu brings in Session Moth Martina, a solid choice for their team, at the great despair to Sumire and confusion of Hana Kimura. Io Shirai then makes an actual good choice, picking Konami, the deadly striker and submission expert in Stardom. I figured Konami would go to Queen's Quest. She just fits perfectly into the group for sure. Seriously, Mayu, what the hell? Really? You were planning on picking Konami over Tam too? Well, Konami is a better choice, but seriously, the fact that Mayu waited until round 5 to pick Tam is crazy to me. It has become some kind of joke online that Mayu secretly hates Tam or something, and I would be lying if it didn't feel that way sometimes. Kagetsu decides they don't need any more people in Odo Tai, essentially ending their picks, causing Io Shirai to pick Viper and then announcing they're done picking as well. Mayu then decides to take everyone who wasn't picked, which just perfectly pictures just how messed up Stars is. It's just the leftovers run by a leader who has no idea how to lead. With Team Jungle not being picked, they are understandably upset, being angry that they are just leftovers to the rest of the roster, and storming off instead of celebrating with their new team. With the teams chosen, Stardom has been changed forever. To be honest, I went into this event thinking it was going to suck. But it really didn't. Everything that happened either led to some storyline like Team Jungle, or improved the groups in some way. Stars at the current time of this video actually feel like a team that isn't just bumbling around. Odo Tai are just as entertaining as they were before losing Tam and Chris. Queen's Quest is more deadly than ever, with Momo being skyrocketed to the top, Azumi having a great rivalry with Starlight Kid, and Konami joining the team. Things are looking good for them. Seriously, Stardom didn't implode and it didn't start becoming boring after this. A new challenge was added and it really helped keep things fresh. It's really a lesson of letting things happen before passing judgment on them. Things might just turn out okay instead of the disaster you envisioned.